Hello and welcome to True Audiophiles. My name is Jim Carter. Today I am going to cover basically special, store special vinyl. Vinyl that is kind of a limited edition that's only available at certain stores, or places. And I say places because Vinyl Me Please is one of the ones that I'm going to be talking about here. But basically, it's usually a special pressing that is done on typically a colored vinyl. Sometimes there's some special thing with the cover as well, but for the most part, it's mainly just a special color of the vinyl, and maybe some special artwork as well. But I'm going to go over some of my favorites. I've got a bunch of them. I typically buy them from places like Target, Vinyl Me Please, like I mentioned, Barnes & Noble. My favorite place to get them is a place called Newbury Comics. They're a local store for kind of the New England area. There's about 30 stores in the New England area, but they also sell their exclusives online too, so you can get them no matter where you live. So with that being said, let me go over some of my favorite special edition vinyl that are only available in certain stores. So first up on the agenda is Billie Eilish, her debut on a major label. This one is a Target exclusive, as you can see. I don't generally like to buy glow-in-the-dark vinyl because I've heard it is terrible, but quite frankly, I don't know because I haven't heard them yet. I haven't listened to this one quite yet, mainly because I have the black vinyl version, but I just couldn't resist when I saw glow-in-the-dark because I just thought it was really apropos for this album, so that's why I bought it. Next up is Bruce Springsteen, Chapter and Verse, sorry. This was a Barnes & Noble exclusive, as you can see. It was actually, basically this is kind of a greatest hits album that came out when his autobiography came out. It also has some 5 previously unreleased songs from his older days. I think, before his signings with Columbia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. What I really like about this one is the look. It's basically a tortoiseshell colored vinyl, which I think is very cool looking. I really enjoy that. So very, very cool looking. Next one I really find fun. It's basically Little Richard's Greatest Hits. This is a Newbury Comics exclusive, as you can see. And as you can see also, maybe if I get it centered just right, here you go. Tutti Frutti colored vinyl. Only 500 were pressed. I know that they still have these, so if it's something you're interested in, it might be fun to get. I just think it's a really cool and fun looking vinyl. So a little bit of red and green and yellow in there, but just such a fun colored vinyl. Hopefully it sounds really good. I just bought it, so I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. So next up is an album that I would say that probably anyone who listens to jazz at all probably owns at least 5 copies of, if not more. And I am definitely no exception to that rule. But when I saw this, I couldn't resist because I thought it looked very cool. And as a relatively limited pressing. So Miles Davis Kind of Blue. And as you could see, it's basically, it says Blue Marble, limited to 1,500 copies. It doesn't look like it was focusing in too well on that, so I apologize. But basically, I thought it's a really cool retro look to it. It's got some blue, white, and black marbling on it, and it sounds pretty good. It's the remix that Mark Wilder did back. Oh boy, it was probably 5 or 10 years ago. I can't even remember now. But when they basically decided that the original master tapes of Kind of Blue were just too trash to do anything with again, they did a remix that did correct a couple things, but more importantly just gave a fresher master, and they did a great job. It sounds really good, and I really enjoy it. So next up, Sonny Rollins, Saxophone Colossus. This is, unfortunately, I don't have the hype sticker for this one, but this is the Newbury Comics teal opaque marbled copy. They have a blue one, I think, that's out now too, that I was very tempted to pick up, but I decided not to, since I already have several copies of this. But this is basically, my understanding is this actual pressing is actually a pressing that they used the stampers from the old DCC Classic Steve Hoffman remaster. I don't know if that's true or not. I've looked in the dead wax, and it's possible. There's definitely some stuff scratched out in the dead wax that could possibly be indications that it was that. So if it was, it's cool. So I need to really listen to that and compare it, because I actually have the DCC Classic version as well. So, and it sounds spectacular. It'd be cool if that inexpensive repress is going to sound exactly the same, although probably not as good of a pressing as the DCC one, because that one was pressed really well. So next one is my most recent one that I purchased. This is from Vinyl Me Please. It's White Stripes, and what's really cool about this, you could probably see it if I hold it in the right light, just right. The red spots are kind of a metallic color, which is pretty cool. But what's a couple of other really cool things about this one. Number one is the look of the vinyl, which I'll show you right here. But secondly, and more importantly, the other really cool thing about these is that they were actually pressed at Third Man Pressing in Detroit, Jack White's relatively new pressing plant. So that's pretty cool. It sounded pretty good. You know, it's not as quiet as a Japanese pressing, but it was definitely, you know, pretty relatively quiet pressing. I was pretty happy with it. So I wish I could say the same for the next one. Love the look of the vinyl. This is another Vinyl Me Please one. And this is the Fugees, The Score, which is just a phenomenal album. Really, definitely one of my favorites of, I think it was the 90s. I can't remember now. But basically, pretty sure this was pressed at GZ Vinyl, which is probably one of my least favorite pressing plants that between them and URP. Both are basically very big hit or miss when it comes to the quality of their pressings, and this one is a good example of it. It looks very cool, you know, split black and like a yellowish gold color, but it's kind of noisy. But was also it was a 2-record set. I'm only going to show you one. That's going to be the case with any of these ones that are typically a 2-record set. But the other kind of cool thing though that it did have is it did have a single that was transparent orange as well, or gold, whatever color they want to call that. So that was kind of cool. And I'm glad I have it, but like I said, I wish the pressing was quieter. So another one from Vinyl Me Please, kind of a similar situation. I think this was pressed at GZ Vinyl, and this is better than the Fugees one, but it still has some noise to it. But the Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, probably one of the most iconic rap albums of all time. Hopefully if you like rap, but there are probably several of you that don't. But what's kind of cool about this too is the lettering and this sign are embossed on it, so which is pretty cool. But what's even cooler is the actual vinyl itself. I think it really is cool looking. So this is the vinyl. It's got a green, brown, and white splatter to it. It's pretty cool looking. Next up is kind of an acid rock collection from, I believe it's Numero is the name of the record label. Someone I'm sure will correct me in the comments if I screwed that one up. But basically it's a collection of like lesser known acid rock, kind of pre-punks and psychedelics, and it kind of had a little bit of a psychedelic feel to it too, collection. But very cool album art. The other really cool thing about it too is this has got felt. I'm not sure if this is a Newbury Comics exclusive, by the way. I don't know if the Newbury Comics one was exclusive to having the felt on the front cover, but I know that what was exclusive to the vinyl copy that Newbury Comics had was the color of the vinyl. So very cool looking, kind of a sunshiny looking color to that one. It's kind of cool. Very interesting music on that. Some of it I like, some of it I don't, but it's pretty cool. So, all right. Now, on to last. Most certainly not least, I held this one off to the end for a reason. Didn't actually open this one, and the story behind it is, well, I'll show it to you first because then you'll better understand this story. But basically, it is David Bowie's Black Star, Barnes & Noble exclusive. If I can hold it steady and show you, maybe, hopefully, there we go. But it's on the clear vinyl. The story on that one goes, I bought it on black vinyl. Got it the day it came out. Then few hours later, I found out that there was a Barnes & Noble exclusive, and immediately went online, reserved a copy at my local store, picked it up the next day, and I'm glad I did, because once they announced his death, that unfortunately happened a day later, these basically just vanished and were just no longer available. So I'm glad I got a copy. Maybe eventually I'll open it. I'm not usually one of those types that don't open vinyl, but again, this was a special circumstance because I already had the black vinyl. He had died like a day after I bought it, and kind of just had no desire to open it up, especially once I found out it was just selling out like crazy. I just kind of, that one is going to be one of the few exceptions that I have that are kind of a collector's piece that will probably just always stay in my collection unopened. Don't do that often, like I said, but that one's probably going to be an exception. So, but that's what I have. Well, that's not really all I have. I have a ton more, but those are the ones that came top of mind as kind of my favorites of the exclusives to, like, store exclusive vinyl editions. I'd love to hear what some of your favorite vinyl special edition, or I shouldn't say special editions, but store exclusive versions are. There's definitely a lot of them out there, and but I'd love to hear your take on which ones are your favorites, or if you even like them at all. Some people probably don't like them too much, but if you liked what you saw, please like the video. If you want to continue seeing things that I make on this channel, please subscribe to it. Please, and if you want to find out when I release new videos, which is usually every Saturday, but it can be different, and there might be some special stuff I do down the road where I maybe will start doing a couple times a week, especially if you guys ask for it. But again, please subscribe, like the video, make some comments, make some hit that alert bell so you know when my new videos come out. But thank you very much for watching, and you guys have a great day.